How's it going, fam? It's Erica with Not Your Average EDC, and today we have a very fun video talking about hard use knives versus just everyday carry knives. Typical light use knives. I've made a lot of videos on this before. It's a really fun topic for me. I know it's not for everyone. I know a lot of people don't believe in hard use. People like me get made fun of a lot in the community for using their knives as things other than cutting implements. That's fine. We are the minority, and that's okay. But I wanted to make this video for maybe someone coming into the hobby as of lately, a beginner, and I wanted to just kind of talk about aspects of a knife that you may look for if you want, just a regular everyday carry knife, or if you're looking for kind of a jack of all trades, something a little more robust that can handle some poking and prying and kind of do everything that you throw at it, because I think those are the two main tiers of knife users. Obviously there are, spin-offs, and this is, subjective, but typically we have two sides of the community. We have the people that just use their knives for opening packages, and then we have the blue-collar workers that use their knives for things outside of opening Amazon boxes every day of their lives. So I'm going to bring in a few typical knife styles here, typical models that we see for kind of the lighter use side of the community. Not to say that these cannot handle more robust challenges, especially this guy. That one's a worker, but because of the blade shape and the very impressive hollow grind, I am putting it in this category for this particular video. I do also have a fixed blade here, just because I know that some people use fixed blades, some people like to talk about them, and they don't really get talked about too much in the community for some reason. Let me see if I can get these all into frame here. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. So, the reason I am putting these as kind of typical lighter use knives is just the overall aspects that they're bringing to the table. So as you can see, they're all, generally speaking, a drop point, thinly ground, lack of ergonomic knife that is lightweight, slimline, and easy to carry, with no, no crazy Tonto edges, no cuckoo recurves that are a bitch to sharpen, no crazy jewelry on them, right? These are just great, typical users for the everyday person. And the reason I say the everyday person is because there's nothing about these really that you can argue. There's nothing about these that would be necessarily uncomfortable in a specific person's hand. There's nothing about them that you can really argue, because they're essentially a straight line in terms of design with an edge. There's just not much that can go wrong with this. There's not much that is particular to a certain user. These are just general everyday knives that should be comfortable in 99% of people's hands, light enough for 99% of the community, and with a geometry and a blade shape and a thinness for almost everybody, right? So, let's go over each one individually and just talk about why I like them. So the first one in the lineup is the Three Rivers Manufacturing Neutron 2, the TRM Neutron 2. This is a really great knife if you're looking for something slim, elegant, lightweight, but that fills the hand maybe a touch more than some of these other offerings. So it is very thin, as you can see, very thin. However, they have really bulked up the design in this dimension to fill the hand much more than some of the competitors. So you're getting a very lightweight, slim, elegant knife that definitely fills a more beefy hand if you would like. It's very comfortable. You'll notice that the tip of the knife is in line with the the rest of the center of the knife, so that's something I really look for in an everyday user. For the average person, I find that when you have the center of the knife lining up with the tip, it just creates a really using this is a pleasure because you don't have to alter how you hold it or anything to do the majority of your cuts. You don't have to angle, you don't have to pay attention. This will kind of just do all the work for you. It's in line with the rest of your hand. As you can see, it just flows, right? And with some other knife designs, you have to alter, like Wharncliffe's, some sheep's foot blades, some Tonto edges. If you have some sort of trailing tip or Bowie style, you just have to pay more attention. But with something like this, you do not. You have a nice little tip if you need anything for precision. You have a very thin, slicey blade that is not too thin where it'll break on you, but this will absolutely go through anything that you need it to. It thins out a decent amount behind the edge with this grind. Beautiful deep carry clip, so it's not poking out of your pocket a lot. Just overall, a really nice everyday carry knife. Then we have the Benchmade Bug Out, which, again, a very lightweight, slimline knife. If you're looking for something super, super lightweight, this is the lightest one in the lineup. Decently thin blade. Now, obviously, some people want, like, paper-thin geometry because they're obsessed with that whole realm of the knife world. We're not really touching on that today, alright? In my opinion, for a factory knife, I feel that these are all plenty thin for the average user. Again, centerline tip. Really a lack of ergonomics, so the knife is not telling you where to put your hands, which a lot of people like. Deep carry pocket clip. Just super lightweight. And this just moves through material very well, I feel. With all of these, I also feel that you're getting a good amount of cutting edge. For the average user, this is probably the ideal length. I think if you go any shorter, it tends to be too short for people, and if you go any longer, it's just taking up a lot of real estate in your pocket, and also, I mean, how much blade length do you need, right? If you're just an everyday worker. So I really like the Bug Out because it's just super thin, super lightweight. Everything about it, in my opinion, is pretty perfect if you're looking for just the ultimate lightweight EDC knife. Yes, we have scales that flex, but I think we're so done talking about that ridiculous myth at this point that we don't really have to touch on that at all. But again, just a nice, classic model that really you can't pick anything apart on because there's nothing really to it. They're just simple. They're very simple. Then we have the Chris Reeve Small Sebenza 31. Now, this is the hardest using folder in the lineup, and this could absolutely go into hard use, but again, I think the mass majority of people using these, they are not batoning and processing wild hair like I am, so I did throw it into this lineup of just everyday knives. So, if you're looking for a premium feel, obviously a Chris Reeve is one of the best knives that you can get. You're paying a premium price, of course, but people do it, right? We have a very nice hollow grind on the Sebenza that actually gets thinner for a while as you sharpen, which is fantastic. Again, we have that nice centerline tip. Really beautiful design here. There was so much effort put into the Sebenza that there's nothing that you can change about it, really. This is the perfect knife, the perfect folder. There's just nothing about it, design-wise, that you could improve on because it's literally perfect. Feels fantastic in hand. The jimping is incredible. Lack of ergonomics yet again, so it's not telling you where to put your hands. We don't have a deep carry pocket clip on this, but I do feel that the Chris Reeve stock clips are some of the best stock clips that I've ever used in terms of design. I really enjoy them. A lot of stock clips, in my opinion, are garbage, especially Spyderco, but the Chris Reeve clips are just very well executed. So, again, just another nice slimline, lightweight, beautiful design that typically anyone will love. Now, obviously, this is not as fidgety as the other two knives in the lineup, right? We have that nice hydraulic action. But if you can stand that, you may like it. Definitely not going to be fidgety like the Axis lock. It's not going to be as fast and flicky as the liner lock. But if you're not fidgeting your knives, you shouldn't care. And then for our fixed blade, we have the LT Wright Knives Frontier Valley. This is one of the most perfect EDC knives in fixed blade formation that I have ever used. I mean, there's just nothing to it in its perfection. It's a perfect length. Not overbuilt. Nice, full, flat grind. Super slicey. That handle just melts in your hand. It has that slight contour, which literally is perfect. It just absolutely melts. Now, the tip on this isn't quite centerline, but, you know, it doesn't really affect too much. I would say it's better than, again, using something like a Bowie style or whatever. But, yeah, you have a nice, sharp spine on this one. This is just a super slicer. I love this knife. This is a really good little EDC fixed blade. So obviously with these, you know, you're not going to want to use these as pry bars necessarily, or screwdrivers, or scrapers. I have done that with all of these. I just don't recommend it. Because they could, you know, you're obviously pushing that blade a little bit when you go that thin. You can do a lot of that stuff with the Sebenza. I have done some ridiculous stuff with my Sebenzas. That is all on the Use Your Shit playlist. I have used them as pry bars and scrapers and screwdrivers, and I have batoned with them. You can go watch those videos. But because I'm putting this in the average user lineup, we're just going to make a blank statement of don't push these too far, okay? They're a little thin. Just be careful. Now, let's bring in the beefy boys in the lineup, because I'm really excited about the ones that I'm about to show. These are some of my tried and true absolute beaters that if you are looking for something to have a little fun with, these will satisfy you. So we have some Benchmade action. We have some Emerson action here. You guys probably know what's coming into frame next. Whoopsh! My pride and joy. And for the fixed blade, how could we not include the Tradesman? Man, that is gorgeous. So, this is getting more into the realm of maybe you're a blue-collar worker, or maybe you just actually like to use your knives. Maybe you don't want to carry a multi-tool, so you want a knife that's a little more robust, maybe a little thicker with the blade stock, because maybe you're tightening screws on, you know, a light switch panel or something, or maybe you're using it to pry open frozen covers outside on your camper. I'm sure you can kind of get the hint where I'm going with this. Or maybe you're using the tip to reset an electrical button. Maybe you're opening paint cans. Maybe you're chiseling wood out of a notch, right? So these are kind of the multi-tool knives of the knife world where you can absolutely push these a little harder than the average knife, and they really should be able to handle it. So, let's start up top with the Benchmade Mini Griptilian. This is one of the oldest Benchmade models, man. This is just a tried and true. I have had dozens of mini grips come through my collection. Out of all of them, I do think that the drop point version is the best. They have the Tonto, they have the sheep's foot, but for the average user, I really do like this blade shape. I think it's very well executed. You have a pretty centerline tip. You have a swedge, so this tip is almost like reinforced. Extremely tough and durable. I have done some really dumb shit with this knife, and it just never broke. Very comfortable handle. This is kind of like the Neutron in the sense where you have a wider handle, see? It just fills the hand more, so this is a small, pretty thin knife, but because it has that almost like palm swell action, it fills the hand very nicely. So you can really beat on these and use them for extended periods of time, and your hand will not get fatigued. It just feels very, very nice. The mini grip is just a beast of a knife. It's definitely, a little thicker with that blade stock. It's a little overbuilt, but a mini grip can take on really anything you throw at it. There are videos of people throwing these into wheelbarrows of Quickcrete and leaving them there and then taking them back out and using them. It's unbelievable. The crap that you can put a mini Griptilian through, and it'll just keep performing. And I really like that tip on this one. That is so great for piercing and for poking and prying. It's just overall one of the best designs in my opinion. Now, we are beefing up 5 levels here with the Emerson Mini A100. This is this is just hilarious, right? I mean, this is so absolutely excessive, overbuilt, ridiculous in all the best ways. Now, this is not a stock one. This is an Emerson Po' Boy conversion. I have so many videos on this. If you want the information on how to obtain one of these conversions, please go watch my Emerson Po' Boy video under my EDC gear reviews or my knife reviews playlist. But this is a beast of a knife, guys. I mean, you have a chisel ground edge, so this is a V-grind chisel edge, which I really like. I do prefer this over just the straight chisel, so this is ground on this side, but the edge is only on one side. Emerson does knives where they're just a chisel edge, so this is completely flat, and then you have the edge on this side, but this one's thinned out a little bit more, and you have that V-grind. A beast of a tip here with some beautiful grind lines. This, you can actually punch through some ridiculous material, and it's just not going to break on you. I mean, look at that. You can use this as a pry bar. You can totally use it as a scraper because you have, again, that chisel edge that gets razor freaking sharp. Completely center line, and this is one of the most beautiful designs because this literally, genuinely is just like holding a broomstick. Look at this. There's nothing, guys. There's nothing at all telling you where to put your hands. So this is just a beautiful design if you are looking for the ultimate user experience, if you are looking for something to absolutely beat the pulp out of an Emerson. Whoa, get back in line there, soldier. An Emerson Mini A100 or A100 or Super A100, these are just beasts, guys, and so comfortable to use. You do get a little bit of a different experience with that thumb disc, which is nice. Everything about this is simple and user-friendly. I mean, it's just a wonderful knife to use, super comfortable. Oh man, that is so smooth. Gorgeous. Then, of course, you can't talk about hard-use knives without bringing the one and only Benchmade 940 into play. Just an absolute beauty. Nothing going on here in terms of telling you what to do with it. This knife was created by Warren Osborne for ranchers out in Australia. This was made as a multi-tool to do all of your farm tasks, scrape out horse hooves if they get something stuck in their hoof out in the field, opening feed bags. You can use it as a screwdriver, a pry bar, a scraper, a cutting implement. The 940 is something that is just, it's historical and still so useful. I absolutely adore this knife. It is pretty long. It's a very long knife for an EDC knife, but it carries very well. I have small hands in comparison to my viewers who are 99.9% men. So my hands are small, but look at how nicely that fills my hand even with my little tiny hands. Centerline tip, reinforced reverse tanto. Up front. Party in the back in terms of having a small pommel area that I have used. Just a beast, guys. But so thin, elegant, lightweight, and just very smooth. Very nice to actuate. Very nice to just use in general. I mean, you're getting so much in this lightweight, slimline package, and you can really beat on these things, and just, again, you don't have to worry because it's overbuilt elegantly. That's what the 940 is. It is an absolute beast in the most submissive package that you could ever ask for. And that's what I love about the 940. You know? Like, the Emerson here, you're not really getting anything significant over the 940, but you're bulked up. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that the 940 offers is in the Po' Boy, essentially, or in the Mini A100 here. But, like, we have so much extra here that isn't necessarily a necessity, if that makes any sense. Like I can do the same stuff with this as I can with that. This one's lighter, this one's thinner, it can still do everything, because this one's just so overbuilt. Which I really enjoy. I think it's a blast to use. I love that Emersons are overbuilt. But for some people, they just don't like how thick it is. So, like, if you're looking for something to really beat on, but you just don't think you can do something as thick as an Emerson, just go with the 940, because you can do all the same stuff. Look at the difference, guys. And this one is completely modded. But look at the difference in thickness, okay? The Emerson is just 100% overbuilt, but it's not necessarily offering anything that the 940 isn't, okay? So just keep that in mind. If you really don't like knives that thick, just go with the 940. You're getting all the same fun activities. And then the last one in the lineup here is the Kyle Noseworthy Tradesman. Kyle is a knife maker in Canada. I have always enjoyed his content on YouTube and his philosophies and his work. So this is his version of the fixed blade 940. Do not come at me saying, Benchmade already did that. It's the fixed blade Contigo. Shut up. Shut up. Because the Contigo or Contigo, however the fuck you say it, is not the same as the 940. Yes, it has a reverse tanto tip here, and they look kind of similar. They're not the same. And that fixed blade Contigo thing, they don't even make it anymore, and it's way too big, so just don't start up with they already did that thing, because they didn't. Kyle's the first one to do it, and I'm right. So, Kyle made a fixed blade version of the Benchmade 940. He calls it the Tradesman. This is one of his top sellers. He actually has 2 available on his website right now. He just did a drop. I checked 30 minutes ago. He has one of these in cherry micarta available, and he has one of these in coffee burlap micarta available as well. They are going to sell quick. They might even be gone by the time I put this video up, but he does have 2 available. He's constantly making them for sign up, so sign up for those email notifications. But this is a beast of a fixed blade. Again, my small hands, it fits very well. So on the belt, it's not too cumbersome. It's not too large. Very comfortable in hand. He purposely does all of these facets of angles here to really lock into your hand without bulking up that handle. Notice how all of these beautiful angles are done. They're not sharp, but they are grippy. So he's able to keep this entire package very thin, but you still get a beast of a grip on there because all of those angles just really lock into your hand. We have way more belly than on the 940. We have an absolute beast of a tip there. Nice thick stock. This is just an incredible knife to use. I love using this thing. Very slimline, elegant. No little finger grooves or anything telling you where to put your fingers. We have like the slightest little hump here, but for any hand, I think that's going to work. It's just one of the best fixed blades I've ever used in my life. And this thing can literally do everything you throw at it. Everything. I love the reach that you have on this as well. Oh, man. That one is a honey, as Justin would say. That's a honey. So, you know, there it is next to the folding version of it. In my opinion, the Tradesman is, you know, superior to the 940 in a lot of senses, just because we have more belly, so you're able to do, like, chopping on a flat surface a little easier. Like, you can't really do that with the 940 because the handle comes below the edge, so, like, if you're trying to... See what I'm saying? Like, if you went to chop, my fingers are hitting our flat surface before the edge is because there's too much of a difference. So if that's something that you do, like if you want to do a little bit of food prep with your hard use knife, maybe just take that into consideration. Notice how the mini grip, its belly comes down a little farther than the 940 and the Emerson Mini A100 here. Not like you should be doing food prep with these anyway. They're not going to excel at that. Like, this knife is fine, but the rest of them probably not. This one can absolutely do some food prep. You have a belly that's coming down way farther, so when I grip the knife like this, especially with the length, I can still do some chopping stuff on a flat surface. It's not going to be, like, the best thing ever, but you can definitely do it, and you have more edge to angle and cut with like that anyway. You just have more to work with. So the Tradesman is just really hitting all of those sweet spots for me. But those are my picks for the harder use knives. They carry very well. They're still slim and elegant, but man, do they pack a punch. And like I said, check out Kyle's work, please. I really enjoy what he does. He's constantly putting these knives up on the site. He has tons of other models that he does. The Tradesman is just my absolute favorite so far, but we are going to be trying something else from him that is being made, so that'll be fun. But man, is this a beauty if you're looking for a nice hard-use fixed blade knife. I will see you guys on the next video. Go use your shit. Really use it. Maybe get one use your shit knife, okay? Like, maybe we can have some typical users that you're a little nervous to beat on, but maybe you should invest in just one really hard use overbuilt knife just for funsies, you know, just just because. It's fun to use our shit. I highly recommend that you at least dabble in it and try it. No peer pressure. I will see you guys on the next video. I love you all so much. Thank you for the continuous support on the channel. I appreciate each and every one of you more than I can express. And I will see you on the next video. Love you all.